Feeling uneasy, stressed, or emotionally heavy before a family gathering does not mean there is something wrong with you. From a psychological perspective, this reaction is completely normal. Human brains are designed to prioritize emotional safety, predictability, and autonomy. Family environments often challenge all three at once. Unlike social events with friends or colleagues, family gatherings come with long emotional histories, unresolved conflicts, and unspoken expectations. Your brain remembers past experiences, even ones you may not consciously think about, and prepares your body accordingly. If previous gatherings involved judgment, pressure, or emotional discomfort, your nervous system learns to associate family events with stress. Anticipatory anxiety plays a big role here. Even before the event begins, your brain starts running simulations, possible arguments, uncomfortable questions, comparisons, or emotional triggers. This mental rehearsal activates the stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline. That is why your stomach may drop or your mood may shift the moment you see a calendar reminder. This is not weakness, it is conditioning. Just like someone who feels tense before a dentist appointment due to past pain, your body is responding to learned emotional cues. Society often pushes the idea that family should automatically feel safe, loving, and comforting. When reality does not match this ideal, people blame themselves. In truth, emotional reactions are shaped by experience, not moral obligation. Recognizing that discomfort around family can be a valid psychological response is the first step towards self-compassion and healthier boundaries. Many people assume that discomfort at family gatherings is just an introvert problem. While personality does influence social energy, research shows that introversion alone does not explain this phenomenon. Introverts are fully capable of enjoying social interaction when it is voluntary, meaningful, and aligned with their values. The key difference with family gatherings is choice. These events are often obligatory rather than optional, and the brain reacts strongly to that lack of control. Psychologists have found that autonomy is a core human need. When we feel forced into social situations, even neutral interactions can feel draining. Family events often involve expectations: how long you should stay, how you should behave, what topics are acceptable, and how emotionally available you must be. This creates internal pressure, regardless of whether you are introverted or extroverted. Additionally, family interactions tend to be emotionally loaded. You are not just interacting with people, you're navigating history, hierarchy, and roles. Even extroverted individuals can feel overwhelmed in these environments because the emotional stakes are higher. The brain treats forced social exposure as a mild threat, activating stress responses that have nothing to do with shyness or social skill. It's not about disliking people, it's about your nervous system reacting to obligation without escape. Family systems theory explains why people often feel like they revert to an older version of themselves during family gatherings. Every family unconsciously assigns roles to its members early on. These roles may include the responsible one, the rebel, the peacemaker, the overachiever, or the problem child. Over time, these identities become emotionally reinforced through repeated interactions. When you return to a family environment, your brain automatically retrieves the neural patterns associated with those roles. Even if your adult identity is very different, your family may still respond to you as if nothing has changed. This mismatch between who you are now and how you are perceived creates internal tension. You may feel unseen, misunderstood, or invalidated without knowing exactly why. What makes this especially powerful is that these roles were formed during childhood, when the brain was highly plastic. Emotional memories created during this time are deeply embedded and easily triggered. Family members do not need to say much to activate them. Tone of voice, facial expressions, or familiar settings can be enough to pull you back into old emotional states. This process is automatic and unconscious, not a personal failure. Emotional regression during family interactions is often misunderstood as immaturity. In reality, it is a neurological response rooted in how memory and emotion are stored. The brain organizes experiences through associative networks. When you enter an environment strongly linked to past emotional experiences, those networks become active again. This is why highly competent adults can suddenly feel defensive, insecure, or emotionally reactive around their parents or siblings. The brain is not operating only in the present moment, it is referencing old emotional data. These patterns were formed before you had adult coping skills, which is why the reactions can feel intense or disproportionate. Importantly, regression does not erase growth. It temporarily overrides it. Once you leave the triggering environment, your adult emotional regulation usually returns. Understanding this helps reduce shame. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" a more accurate question is, "What old pattern is being activated right now?" Awareness creates distance, and distance restores control. Masking refers to the effort of managing how you appear emotionally and socially to meet expectations. At family gatherings, masking often becomes intense. You may suppress frustration, exaggerate politeness, hide boredom, or carefully filter your words. This constant self-monitoring consumes mental energy. Neuroscience shows that self-control relies on executive functions in the brain, which are energy-intensive. When you mask for long periods, cognitive fatigue builds up. This is why you can feel exhausted even if you have not done anything physically demanding. Emotional labor, unlike physical labor, is invisible but equally taxing. For individuals who already mask daily due to anxiety, ADHD, or autism, family settings amplify the strain. These are people who knew you before you learned how to adapt. The fear of being judged or misunderstood again increases vigilance, further draining mental resources. This exhaustion is not a lack of resilience, it is the cost of constant emotional regulation. Humans naturally evaluate themselves by comparing their progress to others. Family gatherings provide the perfect environment for this, often unintentionally. Questions about career, relationships, finances, and lifestyle quickly turn into measurements of worth. Even casual comments can feel evaluative. Social comparison theory explains that perceived inferiority activates brain regions associated with pain. This means emotional discomfort from comparison is processed similarly to physical injury. Unlike physical pain, however, emotional comparison tends to linger. It can affect self-esteem long after the event is over. Family comparisons are especially powerful because they come from people whose opinions matter deeply. When success is measured against siblings or cousins, it can trigger feelings of inadequacy regardless of objective achievement. Understanding that this response is biological, not personal, helps reduce self-blame and encourages healthier internal standards. Boundaries protect psychological well-being by preserving autonomy and control. In many families, boundaries are poorly respected. Personal questions, unsolicited advice, and emotional pressure are often justified as care or concern. However, from the brain's perspective, repeated boundary violations signal a loss of control. Loss of control activates the stress response because autonomy is linked to survival. When someone pushes into your private decisions or emotions, your nervous system reacts defensively. This reaction is automatic and not a conscious choice. It explains why seemingly small comments can feel disproportionately upsetting. Healthy boundaries are not about rejection. They are about regulation. When boundaries are consistently crossed, stress accumulates, making family interactions feel unsafe rather than supportive. Recognizing this dynamic reframes discomfort as a protective response, not disrespect. Protecting your mental health during family interactions is not avoidance, it is strategy. Shorter visits, clear exit plans, staying in separate accommodations, or limiting topics of discussion are practical tools for reducing emotional overload. These strategies allow you to engage without overwhelming your nervous system. Psychologically, this approach increases perceived control, which reduces stress. Knowing you have options helps your brain feel safer. It also prevents emotional burnout, making future interactions more manageable. Self-preservation does not mean cutting people off. It means interacting on terms that respect your capacity. Healthy relationships adapt. Unhealthy ones demand endurance. Choosing sustainable engagement is a sign of emotional maturity. Cultural narratives often suggest that family deserves unlimited emotional access. Psychology disagrees. Mental health is a personal resource, not a communal obligation. You are allowed to protect it, even from people who love you. When interactions consistently harm your well-being, reassessing involvement is responsible, not selfish. Love does not require self-sacrifice to the point of harm. Boundaries allow relationships to exist without destroying the individual. Understanding this reduces guilt. Choosing distance or limits does not erase care, it preserves functionality. Healthy connection respects capacity. Feeling drained by family gatherings does not indicate failure, weakness, or lack of gratitude. It reflects self-awareness and sensitivity to emotional environments. Not all relationships are naturally regulating, even when they are biologically related. Blood relation does not guarantee emotional safety. Comfort comes from mutual respect, understanding, and choice. Recognizing this allows you to redefine connection in ways that align with your mental health. You are not broken for noticing what hurts you. You are responding intelligently to your emotional reality. That awareness is not a flaw, it is a strength. If this video made you feel understood, even a little, then you're not alone here. This channel is for people who think deeply, feel deeply, and want real psychology without fake motivation. So if you don't want to feel crazy for feeling the way you do, subscribe to the channel. New videos like this are coming that explain your thoughts, habits, and emotions simply and honestly.